Alright guys, so today we're going to go over our trades. So if we looked at my tweets from today, this is how much I made, and then I made a little bit extra, a little bit after, and I'll talk about that as well. So an extra 26 on the day, so total 285, which is not bad. Not bad for a Monday. Most of my Mondays have been, a loss or recovery from a loss from that same day. So let's break down what I was looking at today. So today came in with the feeling that we're going to have negative sentiment from the tariffs. So I pull up my 4-hour chart and we're already gapping down from 264 all the way to 263. And then this morning we start recovering back up to 263. And the SMACD is already in the negative. So I'm like, okay, that tells us we're going to have more potential for a put day. However, I was worried more at the 200 EMA as we've seen some reversals last week from that 200 moving average. And then as you can see right now, this is putting sort of a bear flag. We have the pull at the bottom and the slow recovery, dead cat bounce, slow recovery, and then another flush tomorrow, which is potential. The areas of support I was looking at was right here from 258. I had a feeling we would stop and recover around this area because of this previous support on the last 2 weeks, and I was like, okay, I think that's the support. All I know is that under the 200 moving average, just be cautious for really aggressive reversals, which might happen. And today, I mean, it kind of was. You hit 258, recovered all the way to 260, almost 261. That's still pretty aggressive enough to lose your gains on the day. So hopefully nobody did that. So I'm looking at that and I'm like, all right, cool. So let's pen out the day. I'm looking at the 1-hour chart. What is the 1 hour telling me? The 1 hour is already looking bearish. We're already under the 200 moving averages. All the other averages, pretty much, we were already underneath all of them. I think we were just above the 200. I'm like, this needs to break under the 200. And then I had an ascending support. I'm like, looks like we're going to break through that as well if this is what it's looking like. And it did, as you can see here. So the first 5 minutes were kind of a bear trap, bull trap actually. And the SPY was more of a bull trap. And I'll show you guys that is a day of a bull trap. So this first candle goes up and I see the second candle. I'm like, okay, wow, this is really nice. And then we go up to as high as 264.34, and I'm like, okay, now we're starting to reverse. And I'm looking at SPY at the same time because SPY and IWM shares similar sentiment but not the same candles, and I'll go over what that means. And I did not trade in small caps today. I'll go over what someone mentioned, that there was some momentum. I haven't taken a look at them, but I was looking at least two of the ones that they mentioned, so I'll go over that briefly. So it kept going down further and further, and I'm like, okay, I think I'm gonna start taking a position soon because this is giving a clear message on what the day is looking like. So if we have the 1 minute chart opened up right here. I took my first entry at 263 puts at 943. So 943. So within this fourth or third, actually, 5 minute candle, as soon as we're going through the MACD was going negative, and I was like willing to take this risk because of how the sentiment was. And this is a good, I guess, idea of anticipation. When you know this, the sentiment is there from the tariffs and other stuff that may come in the future, you can feel confident. Okay, I'm gonna start slow. I took only 2 positions within this time frame. I was looking for the break at this low that this candle formed right over here. So it forms that low, and I'm like, cool, we're breaking. I'm adding to my position. Each candle you see is a position I'm adding. Added 946, added 947. It flushed down. I waited for a pullback. I was ready to sell just in case it started to reverse and went the other direction. But Trump was talking a bit of nonsense earlier, so I was like, I don't think that's gonna help, So I felt confident. I'll show you right now. So at this time, 950. Let's look at the scanner right over here, and this is why I like the scanner. So 950, bro is talking. So this is 7. It's gonna say 1050, 950 a.m. here. Let's see. See right here, 950. I look at this candle, guys. 950, and look at this. 950. He's talking. So I think a lot of people are, maybe this is based on the sentiment. People probably, oh, he's gonna say something good, like, oh, tariffs are off or whatever. But no, this is more of a rant, and like, no, this is not gonna reverse on the day. I don't think it will. And like I said, like I had imagined, it rejected, and that's when I took another position at 5, and I was okay on the day. I took it off the table, guys. I took this off the table. One, I'm starting my Monday off right. And I did post that. Let's see how high. Look how high the contracts went. So I did leave up like 1,500 profit on the day, and it doesn't feel good. But I'm gonna be consistent. I'm gonna be consistent every time until I can feel comfortable holding longer. And if I have more cushion on the week, then I'm gonna feel a bit comfortable holding longer. The only thing I was worried about is having this, I guess, reversal, because we are at the 200 moving average. I really thought we would I guess reverse again. We're now below it. Still reversal's potential, but now we're showing more weakness, further weakness, and it looks like we're going after this bottom. So from there, I was like, okay, the first support I was looking at before we even broke, I was had my orange candle, my orange thing, orange line, 261.86, and I felt this was a okay area to take profit. You know, as soon as it broke the 260. I was like, okay, I'll take it off from there. You know, I'm not going to get greedy. I'll take it off from there. And it just kept going further. I'm like, that's okay. I don't need any more. But I did take another re-entry. So that first entry did profit me 211. So I was like, I'll take it. That's a base hit. My base hits will get bigger the more I add contracts. I was starting off light. I still even had enough buying power. And that's why I took another contract for 259 puts. So the 259 puts, I'll show you guys here. It took it 708. I was like, okay, let's wait for a pullback. Maybe we could get a pullback. So it's 708. It was my first entry. So this is what I waited for. This is, if you're waiting for an entry on these puts, guys, make sure it's on confirmed rejection. So you can see here, it started to bounce up, started to hit the EMAs, flushed down. I took my position there. It went up again and began to keep flushing, and I took him 259. Well, I wanted to test, see, okay, how is that going to affect the pricing if I go a contract out? Because these calls or these puts over here, the 683 is one as high as $300, and I only took them off for about almost half of the gain, so $28. But these went up to from $38 to $300, and this is far out the money. So we'll look at SPY in a little bit. So I'm like, wow, okay, I'll take off the table as I took my profit over here. I was more concerned about the reversal because it just felt like it was starting to get thin here. It started to get a little bit stretched, and I was like, I don't want to push it. It probably could go further, but it might need a little bit more of a rebound. So if you're going to be trading this and you're going to be here all day, make sure you get a really good rejection on these puts. Make sure that rejection is true because you get in higher. This one high 263, you're like, okay, I'm going to take 260 puts, and they'll be cheaper than where they're at. And then over here, so your puts will be cheaper over here versus taking them at the bottom, and then you confirm your downside. Then, but I was trying to look for it. If obviously I had to go to work, so I didn't want to stay here all day. I was like, okay, if we break through this support line right here at 261, which we had already done, the next one that we have is, you know, 260 or at the 200 moving average, and then from there, where do we find support from there? And the support you would find would be from these common bottoms. So these common bottoms would be 250.59 right over here, and it didn't break through that 259, not just yet, but it did, and it basically based out 258 from where I had guessed it would be basing out. And then from there, if it does go further, would be the next bottom. So the next bottoms would be here that I'm targeting for maybe tomorrow, if the sentiment still continues, would be 254.59. That's a really big drop. So I think we can get a really good day and 254 flat. And then from there, it's just continuously finding the support, and then reversal maybe soon. So that's why I took those 259s. They were cheap, and I was like, let me practice this. Let me see. I did set my targets initially. I was like, let me go for 259, but I was like, actually, let me just take the base hit. I don't want to get too risky first day of the week. I'm starting off good. I want to keep that momentum going. So we're going to look at SPY. So SPY, why did this do the same? Well, SPY, what I noticed, has been always under the 200 moving average within the last week. It's been trading on that versus IWM. We've been hovering above that level. So now maybe we start trading above that. So let's look at SPY. What was I looking at SPY? Well, this first one was more like a YOLO right here because from the 0DTE guy, and I'll take a look. I'll pull up what he said. But my next one, I saw this. I mean, I had time. Yeah, this is right here. This is the contract I took. They did go up as high as that, guys. It's crazy. So the next one I took was 684 calls. I was looking for that reversal. So what time were these calls? So I'll go to my SPY and I'll see. So I did profit on both. 4 out of 4, 100% accuracy. And they were lower size but higher accuracy trades. And I will take it. This was a little bit risky. I was willing to lose 20. I had this one. This one I had to keep it very tight stop. $20 loss and just take it off the table. But I ended up making a little bit more. So SPY, I took these at 825. I held for about 6 minutes. So what was going on at SPY? Okay, guys, look the gaps. You can play the gaps, but it's not always going to be true that they're going to fill. This couldn't have filled. Maybe it could have topped at 688, maybe to just have sunk from there, but it did, capture this fill point. And then from there I was like, oh, we're rejecting. That's sometimes always a given, not always true. Just take it with a grain of salt. So this is what I mean. This is very different from what you've seen from IWM. So this kept going lower, lower, lower. I took my position at 825 right here. So I was looking at the 15-minute on my phone. I did this all through my phone. So you can see here where I took the screenshot. I'm like, hey, this is looking like a pretty good reversal. And this 15-minute, I don't know. To me, I thought this was a really big candle. I thought, maybe we might just hit the 200 the 9 EMA and then start going back down. And I was sort of almost right, but not really, not quite there. But I was still able to profit. So let's see, 825. So between basically I traded in this entire red candle, and this could have gone south. I think this one could have gone south. So I took my trade here, 825. As soon as this next candle formed, I'm like, nope, I think it's going to break through this EMA on the 5-minute at least, which it did. And it began to reject at 683. I'm like, nope, I'll take it off table after a minute. And then I locked up this gain right here at $26. And I was like, I'm done. I had time to do that. So I was like, okay, I think this is going to be okay. I'm not going to, worry about anything else. It's all right. And we did go up a little bit higher, but you can see we're constantly rejecting above this VWAP. And now, who knows? So this whole week could be a whole put week. Maybe we might have some sort of reversal. What I'm going to guess is that we're going to probably target this low here at 670, and then IWM, I think 254 will be that bottom to create that sort of double bottom scenario that we've been seeing recently, and then probably rally it from there. And from there, I don't know. If the sentiment's still holding negative, then I think we'll go there. If not, we're just going to go back. So we've been in this tight range so far. Okay, so the small caps, I didn't trade anything. So I was looking at EZRA. So just checking the time because I do got to go back to work. EZRA, I mean, I pulled this up first thing in the morning. I had to use the 5-minute. I didn't like how I was looking on the 1-minute chart. Okay, so I think I missed EZRA anyways. So first thing in the morning, this does go up. You notice we based out 24 cents, and they did have news. It was U.S. stock. The float's good. So I'm like, okay, it's not bad. I didn't exclude it. I was watching it, but I didn't trade it. It bottomed out here. What I didn't like about EZRA, there was a 120,000 share seller, I think at 24 cents, and I think they unloaded the position here, and I guess news where people started buying it back up, but I didn't like how heavy that size was. I'm like, okay, no, if I'm gonna see that once, I'm bound to see a heavy position again. It did go up even higher, but I mean, I guess after hours it's going up higher, as you can see. But that's why I didn't trade this. The buyer was 120,000. I wasn't seeing any big seller. I mean, that seller was 120K. That was a crazy order. Like, I'm not going to take that. Like, I've learned my lesson from taking those types of orders. VNDA, okay, VNDA, I don't trade after the open at all. This is not bad. 53 million though, so a little bit out the parameters. I did look at some stuff that was outside this, 20 million float, but I was like, nope, gotta stick to the strategy. This is why the small caps momentum trading, you have to be very specific with the setup, and you have to. And I know it's an urge to trade every day, but I think you just have to wait for that setup. But this is not bad. This still moves like normal, and I think during an open, you may be able to get away with a little bit of slippage on these floats, just because you are gonna have more liquidity to sweep up, and continue this grind up. So yeah, this is good. This went up almost like basically $2.50. Not bad. But I don't trade the open. NCI, so NCI was another one. I'm glad I didn't take this because it sort of rug pulled. And I mean, look at this, guys. Look at this. So I did see it go up. I was like, huh, why is this going up? This didn't have any news, Hong Kong stock. And then as soon as I saw this go up, it began to flush. I'm like, okay, I lost my trust in it. And then you can see here, done the same thing. It tries to go up and it keeps rejecting. You could have made money. Yeah, you could have. For this break over this maybe 200 moving average into the VWAP, yeah, I think this wouldn't have been a bad spot to add, to maybe take a profit here. But I don't know, just I don't trade after the open, so that's why. And if you made money on this, good. There's more opportunities at the open if pre-market does not present itself. SGN, I think I was looking at this. This is not bad, but like I said, I trade here. I trade from the hours of 7. Hours of 7 to 6:30. It's 5:30. I gave up 5:30 today, but this is my time frame. So yeah, this did go up higher, but I'm not gonna hold from 60 cents all the way to 90 cents within the whole day. I don't have time to monitor that. And then I think they mentioned ALUR, I think. Yeah, okay. This one, what was this? I stopped at 5:30, so I didn't take a look at this. So this is at 6 in the morning. Okay, this is 1 minute candle. How about the 10 seconds? How's that looking like? Can you really have gotten an entry? And that's actually not bad momentum. That's the type of stuff we want to see. But okay, I think this is bad. If you're quick enough, if you make this top right here, right, and you're looking at your VWAP, you're looking at your volume profile, just like I don't know, you see this start to go up. This is really quick for a 10-second candle. At best, maybe you get filled at 150, but how do you take it off the table? You still would have profited. I think this would have been the better. This is the type of situation we're looking at, except with more of a continuation as it goes higher. But this is probably the better one out of all the ones that I mentioned that likely would have profited today in the pre-market session at the open. I'm going to exclude that, but yeah, let me know what you guys think. Let me know how you guys traded. So yeah, we did pretty good today, and let's leave it at that. And we're going to keep the momentum going. Hopefully tomorrow, Wednesday, Thursday, or Friday, I can have the ability to or balls to hold a little bit longer, so that way I can take my profits more and this number maybe go up even higher. But for now, 30 to 50% is what I'm capturing, and it's been stable, consistent, and it will slowly keep going up the more I keep increasing my base hit or my starting size, which is 5 contracts so far, or around $400 to $600. So yeah, take care, guys, and have a good rest of your day. Peace.